Let's talk about the flip side. Imagine you go into a room, you feel that immediacy, you feel that energy. They love you, great rapport, you don't get it. What's your process? You call, you follow up maybe with someone. I know a lot of times they don't let you know. But
You don't get feedback. You really don't. And I, I, I had a wonderful director in New York, a woman named Amy Saltz, and I did a play with her in New Haven at Yale Rep. And I couldn't get thrown in jail. Nothing was working, and I felt like I was auditioning really poorly. And so I went to Amy and I said, Amy, will you work with me on an audition? I don't know, I can't get hired. She says, let me do you one better. I'm casting a play at the American Place Theater. I want you to come sit on our side of the table and watch these actors come through an audition for us. And so I did that. And I was shocked, Karen. I was absolutely shocked, because the lesson that Amy was trying to teach me is that 98% of the time it's not about me. It's about what they need in the project, what they need in the part. I watched actors come in that were not ready to work. You could see them apologize for being there. Learned a great lesson from that. I watched actors come in that didn't want the job. They were afraid if they got the job, they would have to do it. They were apologetic about being there. I watched actors come in that were remarkable in the role, just remarkable. I mean, you looked at it and went, oh, that's your guy. That's you. And they didn't get the job because they didn't fit with the vision of the project and the ensemble that they were trying to put together. It was a great performance. Didn't work for this. So it really wasn't about that actor, and they had no way of knowing it. If I could have gotten up and run out of the room and said, I can't tell you how good you were and you're not going to get this job. Understand it's not about you. And I couldn't really do that, you know. And then I watched actors walk in that were utterly professional, and they did their work, and it was good and it was solid, and they said thank you and turned and walked out. And I learned that too. I learned better to have them have to reach to you to keep you in the room than you to linger too long. Get up and go. They'll stop you if they need you. And that was a great lesson for me. I found out that it really wasn't about me. I just need to go back and do my work and trust that would be all right. It would be enough, you know, keep going.
that's interesting. That's like that psychology of keep them wanting more.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know, I've done the thing where you tried to be nice and you tried to be winsome. Oh yeah, you guys doing all right? And they're ready to get on. They got 7 more guys that they have to see. And I really liked your last project, you know. And they're sitting there thinking, how are we going to get this big lug out of the room? And I'm sitting here thinking, if I can sit here long enough, I'll win them over. And it doesn't work that way. They're doing a job and I'm doing a job. Let's just do our job. And especially if I nail the audition, I'm out of there. They're gonna have to catch me by the coattail. I'm done, I'm gone. Because I did what I was supposed to do. I did my job. And I can't do it any better, I can't do it anymore. I had an experience with the unit, with David Mamet, and I was pretty excited about auditioning for David. And I knew the character. It was a guy, I knew the places in Georgia that the guy had hunted. I knew what his military bearing was. It turned out that he was a man that was in a wheelchair. He had been paralyzed in a helo accident in Granadas, based on a true character. And when I was a kid walking home from football practice, there was a guy named Mr. Matlock that would hear me whistling coming down the street. He'd been in a railroad accident and lost his legs. And he would always come out. I was 7 years old. He would come out and he and I would talk. I would just stop there on the corner and talk to him. And he was fascinating to me because he smoked a pipe. And you know, as a kid, you're watching everything. Well, the ash would fall out of the pipe and burn a hole in his trousers. But of course, his legs were wooden, so I never felt it. But I just unconsciously studied everything about him. So when I had to play the guy in the wheelchair, when I sat down, I was Mr. Matlock. I was the guy in the chair. And they didn't get the camera on, Karen. The camera, it was a new girl who was working it. And moreover, I had taken pages from the script and I said, I appreciate these sides that you've asked me to read, and I'll do that. But the character's over here in this scene. And I gave David a copy of the sides, and I gave the casting director a copy of the sides, and I said, may I read this? And they said, David, you know, Mamet, he'll play. He said, sure. And the casting director, because David said sure, and but they didn't get the camera on. And I was 2 hours away heading to Palm Springs for a charity golf event, and my agents called and said, they didn't get the camera on, will you come back? And I said, no. I did what I could do. They were in the room. It either happens or it doesn't, but I can't do it any better. So I literally got out of there and didn't look back.